Hello and welcome, everybody. This is Filmtopia Live, episode number 2. My name is Ricky. This is Filmtopia. And I can't remember the line. Oh, my name is Ricky. This is Filmtopia. And I hope they remember you. If you're wondering why I just did that, that is because at the beginning of each show, you get to determine how exactly I open the show. And yesterday, a Mr. Kevin Durant in the chat or in the comment section of episode 1's show left the Thanos line. I hope they remember you. And so that's how we're going to open each show. I'm going to say, my name is Ricky. This is Filmtopia. Blank, blank. You guys get to fill that in. So in the comments, let me know if there's any famous movie quote you guys want me to use, and we'll get it popping. But with that said, everybody, happy Friday. As you can see, I've got these on for a reason because we have a lot to talk about. Today is a special day because a lot of Spider-Man No Way Home news and merchandise and imagery has dropped. But if you are new around here, Filmtopia is a place for all things movies. So whether that's watching movies, talking about movies, or making movies, this is the place for you. And Filmtopia Live is our daily Monday through Friday talk show about all things movies. So if that excites you at all, make sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button. And with that said, I want to introduce all of you to my fellow co-hosts, Jonah and Anthony. You guys already know the vibe. Apparently, Jonah is also...
I mean, that's the big news of today. So
it is the big news. It is the big news. I just want to tell everybody out there, thank you so much for yesterday's support. Episode 1 was a fantastic experience. Seriously, Filmtopia Live is here, and I can't believe it, and I get to share it with these awesome individuals that you see on screen. I want to know, how are you feeling today, guys?
Feeling great, man. Feeling great. Happy Friday, everyone.
I'm glad to get through this week. I mean, 1 week closer to Black Widow, to our Loki sandwich of Black Widow. We get Loki, Black Widow, Loki, like in 1 week. Like, there's so much coming this next week. I'm so pumped.
That's insane. And I also wanted to, obviously, like always, make sure the chat feels home, feels welcome. I see Moaz is in the chat. Spiderman, excited about that. Reddick, our awesome Stafftopian, is also there. He is not going to miss today. Ulysses does not work today. There is a 4-day weekend. So I'm super glad you're spending that first part of it with us. We're going to hopefully have a good time today. And Lizzie, if you were on right now, guess where you'd be? You'd be right there.
No, she wouldn't. Let's be honest. Because there'd be 4 of us.
Great to see you. Great to see you. Pyro Hell's in the house. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Crash is also in the house. Crash says vibes. vibes. And by the way, everybody, if any of you subscribe, if you're already in the chat, then obviously you're already subscribed because it is a subscriber-only chat. But if someone subscribes, their name comes up right here. And that also brings me up to another point, which is going over the format really quick. So obviously, Filmtopia Live is a little different from the Loki live streams or any live streams watch parties we do. Essentially, we pre-produce this show and we have topics coming in. We talk about them. We have our talking points. And so that obviously we have like sort of a structure versus where our watch parties are really free flowing. So in the chat, I'm definitely going to need you guys to be active amongst yourselves and really helping each other out. I will find pockets during the show when I can bring you guys onto the screen and really hear out your comments and interact with you. But to give you the best show possible, we're gonna definitely be in sync with one another. And now there is one thing: if you have a question or a comment you just super need answered, there are links in the description box below where your question will most likely pop up right next to us, and we'll answer it right away. Definitely not forced or anything. We'll definitely always try to get as many chats as possible through the regular YouTube. But if there's just something you need to know or you need to ask, that's what the links are down there for. So yeah, really quick, going back, I see more people are trickling in. This is awesome, guys. Yeah, like Reddick, Pyro Hell, Lizzie, Coffee Talking Tech. Thank you so much for being here, Coffee Talking Tech. As I said yesterday, if you guys have not seen this channel, go check it out. It's a great one. Reddick says, vibing with all of you. And Lizzie says, here, this is for you. Okay, but I'd at least, be sort of in the middle. It's fine. We can kick Jonah off. And guess what? William is in the house. Mr. Cubs fan, Mr. Chicago fan, Mr.
Oh, Chi-Town, baby, stand up.
Chi-Town, and Mr.
Day one.
Mr. One of the first three that was ever here. William, thank you for that. We appreciate you, Will. We're gonna have a good show for you today. And Sam Stone is also in the chat. Thank you so much. Sam is actually one of our giveaway winners. I think during one of our first giveaways, he was one of the winners. So Sam Stone, appreciate you so much. And this is awesome, man. This is awesome. William says, yes, sir. But I think that's a perfect way to segue into what I think everybody came for and what everybody is really excited about. And now, should I drag it out a little bit more, or should I just say it? I think I'm going to just say it. And that is, we're in the end game now. And what I mean by that is, today we have officially been given a first look into Spider-Man No Way Home. Really quick, that is an applause moment, because Spider-Man No Way Home that movie is going to be insane, and just the sheer hype of it thus far is one I don't think I've ever seen. And I'm really trying not to exaggerate this stream, this Filmtopia live. I'm really trying to keep in line, but I truly have this belief that Spider-Man No Way Home might be, dare I say it, the biggest box office movie of all time. And that is something that maybe I share alone. Maybe no one's willing to put that up against Endgame. But think about it, guys. This is what I want you guys to learn. This is what I want you guys to hear out. There's a few factors that go into this. And one of them is the pandemic happened. And that's just something that's integrated into our world now, right? Like, we are in a pandemic, or in a almost post-pandemic world. So by the time Spider-Man No Way Home comes out, there's a lot of like pent up anticipation for that, and a lot of pent up anticipation to go back to the movies. So as you're seeing, the world is slowly but surely going back to the theaters, as much as they're allowed to and as much as they can. We're seeing that via the box office with blockbusters such as Fast 9 or just any other movies that are coming out, and very soon Black Widow, where that's like the real test. Like, we're going to get to see where are people, in all of this, like how's everybody feeling thus far. And I just think you give the world another 6 months to hopefully, we can get past this. And at that 6 month mark, when it's December 17th, 2021, and Spider-Man No Way Home is in theaters, in IMAX, in 3D, in 4D, in IMAX 4D, 3D, in all of the aboves, I truly, truly think that it is going to be an event like no other. I truly, in my lifetime, in my head, I never thought that Endgame would ever get superseded. But I have this crazy, crazy feeling that might be the case. And because of the event level of what's gonna reportedly happen in this movie, I think that it can be the biggest box office return that Marvel's seen thus far, or at least on the opening weekend. I'm not sure about overall, but opening weekend. And with that said, I wanted to pose the question to my fellow panel members. Do you guys agree with me that Spider-Man No Way Home will be the biggest box office movie of all time? And I see Anthony already shaking his head. I want to hear from you, Anthony, please.
First of all, what's up, fellow Filmtopians, my castmates? You know what it is. It's always about that VIBES. Yes, we're here to bring it to you. In answer to the question, I'm going to say no. Right now, and I'm going to put my public health hat on. Right now, we're only at about 50% of the population here in the States as vaccinated. There are still huge parts in Poland and in Europe and some parts of China that are still on lockdown because of COVID. And with the development of these new variants, I love that word, the Delta variant that's floating around. So I think we've got a long way to go. Yes, the frenzy for movies to come back, for us to get back to normal, that's huge. However, I would say that we've got another year to go. So I think summer of 2022 is going to be litty, but this year, I think a nice chunk of people are still going to stay home and choose not to place themselves in highly populated areas. There's a lot of hesitancy out there. There's still some things that we don't know, especially with the mutating variants that are out there. So I have to disagree. However, as I said yesterday on the show, Spider-Man is one of those movies that I might risk getting COVID to go watch. So who knows? What do you think?
I would say that you make a very valid and very insightful point about where the state of the world is. I'm glad you actually said what you said, because I think that was a better way of saying it. And so we have a long way to go in a lot of parts of the world in order to, the word I was looking for earlier, is supersede, what has happened. And so in my head, I am in agreement with you as well. I think the real normalcy, the real normality will come towards summer 2022. I think the movies that are really going to benefit from that is like the Batman, is Jurassic World Dominion, one of the other Fast movie. Just a bunch of summer 22 releases that I am just super. Look at you guys.
No, you said the other Fast movie is freaking hilarious.
Yep, that's it.
And so, because of that, I just think that this Spider-Man movie is going to be an anomaly. I think that's what I wanted to say earlier. I don't think that it's going to culminate into that's when the world seems to be normal again. I just think that this will be an anomaly event. And I could reel back just a little and modify my stance on this. And I would say it would get very, very close to being a biggest box office movie of all time. Maybe even modify it, saying it might be the second highest grossing other than Avengers Endgame. Now, so I guess my hope would be, let's make it the biggest box office movie of all time, because then that means, people, hopefully the world is in a better place. But just going off of the sheer, like, have you guys seen that? Like, that's another question I want to ask. Have you guys seen this type of like hype for a movie? I don't remember. Yeah. Which one?
Endgame.
Yeah.
Endgame, I feel like, was more hyped than this. I feel like there's so many people out there that are just like, if Toby's not in this and if Andrew's not in this, then it's a waste of money and it's a waste of time. And this is going to be the worst movie in the MCU. And I see so many people that are just so fixated on two characters to show up that it's gonna blind them from the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, as far as like if this would be the biggest like box off this movie, like
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. It might, like, it's not even going to be on Disney Plus, to my knowledge, because it's Sony property. And
No, it will actually first debut on. Oh, actually, I don't think it's going to debut on Netflix. So Sony made a deal. Like, it's weird. They made a 1-year deal with Netflix.
mhm.
And Netflix got really excited. They're going to have some Spider-Man properties on their platform. And then Sony goes and makes a back deal or makes another deal with Disney Plus for the following year. And that one's like a long-term one. And that actually segues perfectly into something that I wanted to ask, which is, I know yesterday we were talking about how Kevin Feige is possibly 10 years ahead in his planning and all of the MCU.
Right.
Now, one of the things I didn't get to bring up yesterday was, where does Spider-Man sit in all of this and sit in all of his planning? Well, prior to that news breaking, which was, I believe, like a few weeks or a few months ago, about Sony deciding to venture with Disney Plus instead of having that eternal struggle and fight that they seem to have like for a lot of years, they essentially now are, I wouldn't say partnering, but being on Disney Plus and choosing that as your hosting platform because Sony doesn't have their own streaming platform, I think is a huge tell. I think that is a huge piece of news that really went by a lot of people's head, because in my head, that leads me to believe that Kevin Feige and Sony Pictures are working together long term, and that just, for me, that really makes me really happy, because they're not going to pull away Tom Holland's Spider-Man from the MCU. If anything, now the reverse has happened, which is the MCU might suck in Spider-Man of old. And well, again, guys, everybody out there watching, there's no real or confirmed reports about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield being in this. Now, as a fan, would I want to see that? Absolutely. But I can't sit here with a straight face and tell you guys that for sure is going to happen. And to Jonah's point, for the people that are waiting on the movie solely for those cameos or solely for those visuals, one thing I wanted to just interject with my opinion is, I think the Spider-Man brand though is just it's just so massive that let's say we find out Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are actually not in this, and it really was a whole bunch of rumors, which would really, really suck. Kind of like the Mephisto stuff, except times 100 maybe. And oh, by the way, shout out, guys! It is WandaVision Friday, so I had to rep my WandaVision Friday shirt. What does it say? We are an unusual couple. Hey guys, if you guys type this into the chat, I might start Monday's show with this. But yeah. So, Jonah, I believe in passing you said to the question I asked, which was, will Spider-Man No Way Home be the biggest box office movie of all time? You said that's a no. But if I were to modify that and say, will Spider-Man No Way Home be the second highest grossing Marvel movie? Is that something either of you are willing to say? No?
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness will be.
Until then.
Okay. Yes, until Doctor Strange comes out. Yes, I think it will be up there. Not second. I think it will fit into the top 3 with Infinity War and Endgame. It'll be up there with them. I don't know how they'll be arranged, but I don't think that it'll overtake Endgame entirely.
Anthony, do you have a modification to that? Where do you think this will fall in the MCU box office rankings?
Again, I think it'll be high, but I don't think that it'll come close to. I don't think it'll come close to Avengers Endgame. We're talking about what, $2 billion with a B, and I just don't see it. Again, with the current climate that we're in right now, from a public health perspective, no. but I like to be proven wrong. We'll see. We'll see. I think the public has to make conscious decisions about what they want to do with their health, and do they want to risk versus reward. And so I think I would like to see them do well. Incidentally, if I could just throw this in, it behooves Sony to not take their Spider-Man product away from Marvel, because Marvel is the springboard for their movies. So when their Spider-Man is doing good, or is prevalent in the Marvel universe, in the MCU, that means their movies are good, right? And so I hope that that's never their intention. I hope they re-up their deal and keep that relationship going, because in the end, we all win. And Universal, if you're listening, let the Hulk free. We want a Hulk movie.
That's funny you say that, because I don't know why, but the other day I woke up and I got this weird like Spidey sense, and my Spidey senses were tingling, and I just like randomly thought, I think the Hulk is getting ready. I think Universal and Disney are working something out as we speak. And I can't remember why I thought that, but it had to have been because of a report I read that had to do with She-Hulk and had to do with Mark Ruffalo, the actor, something he also said that I can't obviously bring up right now because I can't remember, but I just remember that right then and there, I'm like, I think Universal and Disney are working something out. And now I hope to be proven right on that one. I want to pull up Lizzie. Lizzie says, this is the stream where I'm not suffering. It's 12 p.m. there for her. She is on the East Coast. I see an East Coast gang in here. Coffee Talk and Tech is also over there. William is also over there. And Claybear Travels has joined. Thank you for that, Claybear. Everybody that is in here, thank you so much. Welcome to Filmtopia Live. As you can see, that is Jonah and Anthony above me right now. And we are having a grand old time. This is your place for daily talk show movie stuff. And that goes Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we just have a boatload of fun talking about movies first thing in the morning. And we usually try to hit on some topics that are prevalent, relevant to that morning. And this morning, we got to see our first look at the Funko Pop collection via Marvel.com. Like, this is actual. This isn't a random website. These aren't rumors. This is straight from the source. This is Marvel.com. As you can see on the screen, and I'll pull up some more in a bit, but as you can see, there are a few suits that we haven't seen yet, and so I'm really excited to see. Here, I'm gonna pull up some better. Oops, it's for later. Really quick. I
got a question for you guys.
Please.
If you're okay with
for the
that.
chat or for
no, for everyone.
Okay.
Do you guys think that we will get any connection to Spider-Man through Loki? Or
No.
do you think that Sony has held Spider-Man so tightly that we're not going to get anything?
I personally think that Loki was developed prior to the reconciliation of Disney and Sony. So because of that, I think the first deal they struck, once they were on better terms, was finalizing how he was going to be utilized in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, because that right there was the jumping. That was for Sony and Marvel. That was all right, we're either going to lose Spider-Man in this movie forever, for as long as Sony tells us, or he's going to be back, right? And I think because they sorry guys, sorry, I heard something right now. Because they I think they finalized the script and they started production around the time I think we heard about that Sony Disney Plus deal. I think that was a huge tell for me. But actually, that brings up the thing I wanted to pull up, which is the Funko Pops. The Funko Pops, Anthony. First look, what do you think?
My eyes immediately drifted down to Doctor Strange because I'm a magic guy. However, as I look back up, I'm a big fan of Spider-Man with the wings underneath his arms. That's a nice look. I believe the Spider-Man Funko that's to the top left, I think that's the iteration that we have kind of now, like how it ended when he grabbed Mary Jane and swung through the city with her. I think that's how the movie ended. And obviously this looks like some kind of stealth Spider-Man or maybe a mech suit, but I'm thinking a stealth so he can creep around in the dark and go invisible. I like him. For me, I'm kind of a purist. I like Spider-Man in his normal iteration. I care less about this because I know that this is really for the kids, right? It's product placement and it's about moving units to sell to the kids, right? So that's fine. But I'm a purist at heart. I pretty much I like to see my hero. I care more about story than anything, right? I want story to be great. Yeah, I want the fights to be badass, and I like
Badass Guardian.
Thank you, Badass Guardians. And I like good stories. I like good villains that are interesting and aren't one note. So ultimately, that's what I care about. But as far as these are concerned, these are good, and you never know. One of them might turn out to be one of our giveaways.
Maybe more than one.
Exactly. Maybe more than one. Chat, what I need you to do right now, thank you for everybody that is tuning in right now. Welcome. I want you guys in the chat right now to let us know on screen which one is your favorite Funko Pop. Look at them all, analyze them all. Down low, we got, on the bottom row, we have Ned, we have MJ, and we have Doctor Strange. And you're right. My eyes immediately go to Doctor Strange because that is the Sorcerer Supreme. Like, that is just, oh man, that is so nice. And then up top, you obviously have the different iterations of Spider-Man. And you know what's fun? What's cool is I like the fact that if you see up top, right? If you actually look on top, there is a difference in the red. The saturation levels are different, and that. I really like stuff like that when they do little minute things like that maybe might go over people's head, but I know that will mean something hopefully in the movie and hopefully.
I think it definitely will mean something in the movie. I mean, that the one on the far right is his suit from the end of Far From Home. So these other two suits are new suits. I think that he will hopefully develop this one on the left to be reminiscent of Iron Man and as a tribute to Iron Man.
The chat says, Evander says, I need a Raimi Spider-Man Funko. Well, I agree. I need one of those too.
Can I say something real quick?
What's up?
Shout out to Evander. His picture is the Evander Holyfield.
It is the actual Evander Holyfield.
I'm wondering if that's the actual Evander Holyfield, like the actual champ who I've loved my whole life, and hoping still that Mike Tyson fight happens.
I'll say this via rumors in the Filmtopia mill. I can confirm those are false. I mean, it is not Evander Holyfield.
Okay. All right.
Oh man, but I will say we do appreciate his support. Thank you for always being here and checking in. I know Lizzie says I want an MJ Funko Pop. Love it. And you know what's crazy, guys? Think about this. Not everybody gets a Funko Pop. MJ and Ned have a huge, or in my opinion, if they're getting the Funko Pop, I think they have a decent role to play in this Spider-Man No Way Home. Because again, I read this yesterday and it was someone via the I don't remember who, but I know I saw it yesterday, and it was a filmmaker, and they said that not everybody, more people get Oscars than that, more movies receive Oscars than they do Funko Pops, and I thought that was a really cool quote. Now, actually, I can't verify if that's true, but if it is true, that's something.
Can I say one other thing real quick?
Yeah.
Just regarding the casting, I love Ned. He's hilarious. I love that character. I'm not a big fan of this version of MJ. I just don't buy it. I'm just not buying it. And I hate saying this. I know it's probably controversial. She's not hot enough. And isn't MJ a redhead? Am I wrong?
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. But I think that Zendaya was a great casting. Her chemistry with Tom Holland is perfect for that role. I'm also not looking for visuals when it comes to characters anymore, but more so how they portray their comic book counterpart.
Interesting.
And she does a great job of doing an MJ that is more on the shyer side and is not one that like with Flash is usually this tall white jock that is a bully because of that and thinks he's on top. But in this iteration, we don't have a tall white jock being Flash. We have a rich kid who thinks he can run the place being Flash. So this whole universe is different from Spider-Man proper, so to say, with MJ. And I think that Marvel has done a great job to make it their own for the MCU.
Really quick, William says that Doctor Strange is a scene stealer for sure. Vanders thinks that the black Spidey suit is reminiscent of the Sam Raimi one. William misses boxing because we were talking about boxing. And then Human Ramp posed the question: so, are we thinking this is a symbiote suit? Do you guys want to chime in on that?
Nah, I don't. I don't.
You don't think so?
No, I think they're gonna keep Venom where he is right now. I think maybe I think they want to keep those things separate for now, and I think they'll pop that bottle in the third Venom movie. They'll start to unite those two franchises.
Yeah, I agree. It's very, very early for a symbiote to come into the MCU. Plus, it's not really going to work with the storyboard that I'm thinking of this movie. What I have thought out for how this movie is going to go, symbiotes don't work in it at all. And I think that what Marvel wants to do with this movie doesn't involve Venom at all.
I don't think so either.
Because Sony's building up their own Spider-Verse that they're trying to include Tom Holland in. So they're not going to bring over Venom unless Tobey Maguire gets pulled from when he was when he was in the Venom suit. If that's the time frame that he gets pulled from, that's the only way we'll get a symbiote in this.
Really quick, I wanted to just bring up something that came in my mind. Well, two things. One, Zendaya, honestly, all the MJs to me have been gorgeous, and I think the chat agrees. But I will say that in my head, immediately, right now that you brought up Tobey Maguire being pulled in with the symbiote, well, I just looked at the picture. I'm looking at the screen, and I see 3 Spider-Man Funko Pops. And obviously, we don't know which character is playing or which actors in those suits. Obviously, they're most likely the Tom Holland. But to just get the chat stirring and get the internet ablaze, hey, I see 3 Spider-Men on screen right now as Funko Pops. They have not taken their mask off, so I cannot confirm that they are all played by Tom Holland. So pick and choose which one you think is Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland.
Oh, can I go first?
Really quick in the chat, I want you guys to type in right now if my theory is right and they're like legit playing us right now, or like they're hiding in plain sight. I want you guys to attach each. So there's bright red, dark red, and black. Let me know which one you think is which actor. Anthony, go ahead.
Okay. The one to the far right, I think that's Tom Holland.
Okay, I agree.
The one to the far left, I think that's Tobey Maguire.
Okay.
And maybe the one in the middle is Tobey Maguire. Did I say that right? Tom Holland, yes. And Tobey Maguire.
I think you meant Andrew Garfield.
Thank you. Andrew Garfield, right, is on the left.
Oh,
I think Tobey Maguire's in the middle. And Tobey Maguire is wearing this mechanized version of a Spider-Man suit because he started losing his powers a little bit in those Spider-Man and some of those Spider-Man movies. And I don't even think they even resolved that issue completely. I could be wrong. So perhaps he has a mechanized suit to help enhance his powers or something. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Jonah.
So before I even go into which one I think is which, just this whole thing, us seeing these three Spider-Man and everything, got me thinking, this is how they're going to clear Peter Parker's name. If Toby or Andrew get pulled in, they're going to have Peter Parker stand next to them. And then there's the Spider-Man and there's Peter Parker, and there's nothing that you can't do about that. And so, but I do think that the far left will be Tom Holland, paying homage to Tony Stark. I think at the middle will be Toby, and the right, Andrew will be taking over that suit so that he can pose as the Spider-Man that the MCU knows.
So check this out. I know the chat is saying, this is a good point. Evander says, doesn't the black suit look a lot like the anti-Ock suit from Spider-Man PS4?
Yeah.
Yes. That's what I thought. And actually, let me bring up like more detailed images, right? So this is the bright red, almost what's the color they use for bread Jordans? Crimson. It looks crimson. I really like this color. And then we've got this one. So again, a more detailed look. This is from Discussing Film. They probably got it from the source, which is marvel.com. And check this out, bro. Like, look at that. Look at that. That looks incredible. Hey, you know what? I know I'm reaching here. Wow, you guys are gonna flay me right now, but this is me reaching, guys. If you guys ever want to see Rick reaching, this is it. I think this guy looks taller than Tom Holland. His legs are longer. Like, you can tell he's a taller version. I don't know about you guys, but when I see the Tom Holland version, I love that version, but he's not as lengthy. Maybe it's because he's not as tall. But just reaching here, saying this one is a little lengthier, looks a little like Andrew Garfield. I don't know. I'm just saying. And then let's take a look at the symbiote. So, wow, look at the hands. I didn't even notice that until right now.
Because they didn't show up on the Funko.
Wow, that's crazy, guys. We're not looking at rumors. We're not looking at like leaks that Marvel then ended up having to release because it got leaked. Nothing like this is from, again, right here, it says the source is marvel.com. Do you guys, really quick off the top of your head, do you have any inkling as to what the red indicates?
Those look like the gloves kind of that like Peter's suit at the end of Far From Home. That's kind of how his arms looked, like his hands. If you want to pull up a photo of the end of Far From Home suit, that kind of reminds me of that look. So that's what I'm thinking with that.
It's a nice suit though, guys. Look at that. Like, that's such a dope colorway. Like, sorry everybody, we're fanning out. I'm fanning out. You got the gold lining, you've got just matte black or like pitch black suit. You've got the red high. Ooh.
Personally, if it was me, I would have done the webbing. I would have done the webbing the same red as the gloves.
Okay.
But it's a nice look. Again, I'm gonna say what I said. This is about. I'm a purist. Yeah, I'm a purist for the red and blue. It's cool that Iron Man has all these different suits, and they're all like red and gold in some shape, form, or fashion for the most part, right? Mm-hmm. And I like that he switches it up. You know, I don't need that in my Spider-Man, but you know, I'm old. I'm old school. At the end of the day, the kids are gonna love it. The kids are gonna love it.
Yeah, definitely. And then I know, Jonah, you had brought up really quick. You had brought up a Mr. Something about, or someone right here said something about clearing their names, and I think this guy is going to have a lot to do with that. I want to hear really quick your guys' reaction. I know when I was in theaters, I actually watched Far From Home a little late, to be honest. Like, I watched it like a week later, and I kept hearing about about like the post credits, and I didn't really know what to expect. Like, I was like, "What is it? We just got off of Endgame. This is supposed to be the epilogue to the phase whichever phase we were in,
3,
and to the Infinity Saga, right? Yeah, phase 3, and never in my mind did I think that it would be J. Jonah. What do you guys think of this little thing? Anything?
I think he looks a lot more like his version from the Raimiverse. I think that he also might be one of our multiversal characters that gets sucked in and doesn't know that he got sucked in from another universe, which is why he's the exact same actor. But
so apparently, right? You know, when we watched No Way Home, when we watched Far From Home, that is taking place 6 months after Endgame, correct? Yeah, around 6 months from Endgame. WandaVision was around 3 months after Endgame, right?
Yep.
And then Loki
has already happened as well.
So I know there was like theories online about how when we saw the Far From Home cameo of J. Jonah Jameson, like in the post credits, that it goes to your point, Jonah, where he might have been sucked into this universe via the outlet, which was the behind the scenes that we haven't seen yet. And also, do you guys know when Doctor Strange takes place? Or reportedly,
I heard it takes place after Spider-Man.
Yeah, after Spider-Man. Okay, so then I think one of the premises for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is fixing the, like, for example, if you think of it like a sink or whatever, there was a leak that started around WandaVision-ish, and it's leaking, and then Doctor Strange found out about it, I think, around this time, which is Far From Home, and then hence, you know, the things we're getting. Or I may be completely wrong, and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness takes place immediately after WandaVision, because, again, that's supposed to tie in directly. There's a whole bunch of ways this can go. I'm so glad I don't know any of it.
I mean, Anthony, we still got like 7 months to go. Like,
I know.
So much theories.
7 months to go, and I truly, going back to the thing I said earlier, which was, will Spider-Man No Way Home be the biggest box office movie of all time? If I could modify this question again, I want to ask you guys: will it be the highest viewed trailer in all categories? So first 24 hours. First, blah blah blah, all these things. Do you think it will be will break records via the trailer outlet? And if you guys want, really quick, I'll go first. It's an easy yes for me. I think yes.
I think it has big shoes to fill. Again, I think it'll be huge. I think it will be huge. but I just don't see it touching that end game frenzy. That number's really big, but a lot of Spider-Man numbers play into what goes on over in China. So we'll have to see. I hope so, because when the movies do well, all of us as fans, we all win. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we do well, and then Sony will also hopefully stay around for the long term. So we really got to root for Spider-Man to succeed. Jonah?
I'm concerned about the trailer.
Really?
Well, what it will do for the movie.
I see where you're
again,
going.
if we don't get Toby, if we don't get Andrew, people are going to riot. People are going to be so upset that they're not going to want to go and see the movie, which will affect the box office. Of course, they'll eventually go see it, because everyone gets over being butthurt eventually over actors being in a movie or not being in a movie. It's Marvel. Like, they're going to go see it. But the opening weekend, the overall box office will be affected based on the trailer, when we get the trailer, what's the content of the trailer, and yeah, overall it's just going to be, this movie is very trailer based, is what I should say. The trailer will be huge. The movie, depending on the trailer, will be huge, or might be, who knows.
Yeah, William says, I can't believe we got 4 Marvel movies coming within the next 5 months. That is a beautiful statement. You can say that all day. I'll eat that up. I'll eat that up, because that is a beautiful statement. And what's crazy, guys, is I don't think that's just a circumstance thing. Oh, it is. It is a circumstance thing. But I think the 4 movies a year type of vibe is gonna be here to stay, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like that's the goal now. And then in between those, or even kind of circling in between those movies, we get Disney Plus shows. They're on a tear. I am just super excited to be a fan right now. I just really want to. I really want to see, and I'm really glad, guys. If all of you watching out there, we have pre-production shows, and we really get we talk about, we figure out what we're going to talk about today, but we don't really know what we're going to say. So it's actually very enlightening. Like, it's really cool to see that we don't necessarily agree on this, because now I am the one that believes that it can reach those box office levels I'm talking about. And so when it happens, I'm going to come back here on Filmtopia Live episode 58, and I'm going to be like, yo, Anthony, what's up? I'm going to be like, Jonah, what's up?
So I'm all trailer based. I'm all trailer based. So
and I like being proven wrong. I'm good with it. It's great. It's all great.
Or it can go the complete opposite way, and it will be another swimming story. If you guys are privy to that story, over on the Loki watch party, I revealed about the time I lost swimming. If you guys are not already watching that, make sure you guys are there this coming Tuesday / Wednesday night. We have a Loki watch party, and it's a boatload of fun. It's really, really cool. And we will move past the swimming thing. And I did want to bring up something William said, and I think this is a great way to finalize the Spider-Man thing. When do we think we're gonna get that trailer? When are we gonna get Spider-Man No Way Home, either teaser or trailer? Because so far there's been nothing. So whichever comes first, teaser or trailer.
I think during the Olympics. All America's watching. What a great way to unite us. It also makes for a great water cooler moment, especially when the women's gymnastic team brings home that gold, baby.
Simone, let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. No, I love it. Shout out to the Olympics. I'm really excited about them. And then FIFA World Cup next year. Woo! Anyways,
I'm sorry.
Jonah,
I just thought I don't want to cut you off, Jonah. I'm so sorry. Another one could be during the NBA playoffs, because this is like the first time we're going to have a playoffs without a LeBron, without a Steph Curry,
Yep.
and they need to keep that. They need to keep that interest up. They need to keep that viewership going, and because they're going to be on ABC, which is a Disney company, and then there's the connection. So that could happen as well.
Love it, man.
Sorry, Jonah.
No, go. That's all fine. I mean, that was one of my predictions. Because we're gonna have two small market teams in the finals. A lot of people are not happy with the Suns and are probably not gonna want to watch the NBA finals. And like Spider-Man would be a reason for them to actually go and watch it. It's gonna be Suns in 4. I don't care. But I think Black Widow is too early. I think that they're trying not to step on Loki, the season finale of Loki's toes. So I don't think we're gonna get it with Black Widow. But I very much could see coming out in a trailer in a movie theater, possibly alongside Space Jam or within the coming weeks right after Space Jam. We're getting it before the end of July, that's for sure. But I don't know exactly when we're going to be getting it.
Really quick, before I give my prediction, I wanted to head over to the chat. And as we saw earlier, Ulysses says Suns in 5. Suns in 5. But Billy248, shout out to Billy248, Suns in 4. And then we also have William saying Suns for sure. And then also a Phoenix native or a Arizona native Disney blog, Mr. Disney blog, Rob. Thank you for being here. Shout out to you, everybody. If you have a upcoming trip to Disney World or Disneyland, that channel you see on screen right there, that's the channel you want to check out. So with that said, I want to give my prediction, and I like that we're all, I think, going to have different ones. I personally think with the release that we got today, today's a Friday, right?
Yes.
Next Friday's Black Widow. Okay. I personally think we're going to get the teaser with the characters that were publicized on the internet today by Marvel. So in that trailer, we're going to get Spider-Man, Tom Holland, Ned, Zendaya, J. Jonah,
Doctor Strange.
And that's it. And Doctor Strange. And to me, it makes the most sense because I think there's a higher stake or a higher return on value for Black Widow attaching that as the teaser, because it's going to be a teaser. That this told me right now, literally, I composed this all in my head right now together by using Blue's Clues and all the stuff you see here. Let me pull it up. So everything you see here, plus the J. Jonah Jameson picture we saw earlier, this to me screams teaser. This to me says, hey, we're not going to show you much, but we're going to show you that we're working on it. It's coming. Plus, they don't want to take way too much shine away from like Eternals or Shang-Chi. Like, they are going to attach this to Black Widow because this is I'm over exaggerating, but like a do or die moment for that movie because they've held on to it for so long. They have, loans to probably pay back. And since they've waited so long, they want to maximize its return. And I think that we're going to get the teaser. It's going to be around like a minute. So social media worthy, 60 seconds, 59 to be exact. And it's going to premiere before Black Widow this coming Thursday or Friday when it drops in theaters. Now, do I have any sourcing on this? No, but I'm just using my spidey senses are tingling. In the chat, guys, I want to know right now, answer Will's question that he posed. When do you think the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer is going to drop? Let us know right now in the chat. Joan, I think I saw you want to say something.
Yeah, I want to ask you, do you think we're gonna get a scene that's gonna be a minute long, or do you think that we're gonna get like a teaser trailer? Like, what do you think we're gonna get? Because we could get a scene in the Sanctum Sanctorum, or whatever it is, with Tom Holland, Zendaya, Ned, and Doctor Strange. Like, we could get that scene. Like, we could get a minute of that scene there. Or we could get a whole bunch of random action scenes with a bunch of Spider-Men just all in suits, but you only see one at a time, so you don't know what's going on, kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking.
Hey, man, I'm really glad you brought that up, because that is actually the direction I was in my head trying to end up at. And you're right. I think it's going to be a scene. I don't think it's going to be an actual trailer, because to do an actual trailer, I think you would have to include more like characters or like even a teaser. So I think that this could be like an excerpt or just like something in this, in the Sancto. I can't pronounce it right now. Sanctum. But
Sanctum Sanctorium.
Hold on.
Sanctum Sanctorium.
Centaurium.
Hold on. All right. I'm going to get it. Sanctum
Santorium.
Okay, there we go. Sanctum Sanctorium. Got it, baby.
Put some respect on it. Put some respect on it, Rick.
In the chat, let me know if I got it right. No, but a lot of people in here are saying, like, for example, William says, I like the Olympics call. A few people agreed with you, Anthony. They liked what you said. Crash says NBA playoffs. Let's see. Here's something Ulysses actually brings up. He's asking if there's a Comic-Con this year, which is yes. It's a November Comic-Con. Yeah,
I thought
the
it was
big
virtual.
It's a big. So the big one is San Diego Comic-Con. The second biggest is in New York, but the real big Comic-Con is San Diego Comic-Con. Really quick, that's gonna happen in November. They announced that earlier this year. And it's going to be actually in person. But it's they're calling it like a holding us off until summer, like the next summer Comic-Con. That's the type of vibe they're giving it. I don't expect many people to actually go because it's the weekend of Thanksgiving. I doubt any cast members of any huge movies would want to be there. But the reason why I brought it up was because Ulysses says, if so, then a Comic-Con premiere. So I doubt that it's going to be,
I don't think.
Unless, I mean, I highly doubt this, but unless Comic-Con rolls out a bag, like I'm talking a huge bag, and tells Disney, like, hey, if you premiere that third trailer here, or whatever we're getting around that November slot, then you could see something new there, but I don't think it'll be the first.
Because it's 1 month before. It's not even a month before. We're either going to get our final trailer at Comic-Con, or we're not going to get anything at Comic-Con. And I agree. Everything that I've seen as far as Comic-Con reports is that they're focused on 2022, not like anything that's in December. We might get a Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness trailer from Comic-Con, but that would be the only trailer I would see coming from Comic-Con.
And we're at the top of the hour right now, guys, and we're going to transition into something else. But I think to cap this off, I will say that Spider-Man No Way Home is the hottest thing, I think, on the internet. And I really enjoy talking about it because Spider-Man is like my favorite Marvel character. And I could talk about Spider-Man all day.
Yo, fam, we just talked about it for a whole hour. That's bananas. That's bananas.
That is bananas. But the beauty about it is because it's attached to the huge MCU that we have now, it allows us to delve into different variant timelines, if that makes sense. So, right. But with that said, shout out to everybody that is excited about the movie. Shout out to everybody that is speculating just like us. And shout out to Marvel and everybody for putting out this is the first, right? Yeah, the first merchandise, first like look into Spider-Man No Way Home. I personally think this is going to break the internet. The guys on my left and right hope it breaks the internet, but don't think it will. And with that said, in Filmtopia Live, episode number 58, imagine I actually get it right, like the timing. One of us is going to be like, I told you so. But with that, guys, staying within the Marvel universe, we got a little something called Loki, the show, right? Last night,
just a little.
Yeah, just a little. And guys, by the way, Filmtopia is also a Natalie Holt fan account. She is the composer for the series. I love everything that she has put out thus far. She is an amazing, talented individual. I could probably go an hour talking about how bad Asgardian her soundtrack is, but I say that to say, last night at 9 p.m. or at midnight, we got the soundtrack from episodes 1 through 3 of Loki. So it's around like 20 tracks. If you guys have not seen it or heard it yet, definitely go check it out.
25 tracks.
25 tracks. Thank you, Jonah. And Natalie Holt, right? That is the composer's name. Yes. So Natalie Holt, she's doing some amazing work. She's actually really active on Twitter. Her and Kate Herron, the director of the series, are very, very open and honest on Twitter. And I like that. Do you guys like that about filmmakers and stuff? Do you guys like when they interact and they're pretty honest? I know she's retweeted or liked even stuff that says something or along the lines. Not that she believes us, just throwing that out there. But like someone says, oh, a lot of other scores are like a little dull to me. This one really got me back into it. And I like that the team on Loki are liking stuff like that. They're not afraid to like and show respect and stuff back to the fans. It doesn't mean they're pooping on their predecessors or any of the other composers or filmmakers. But yeah, so it dropped last night, bumping it all day, all morning. And I wanted to bring up a little something that's a little premature, right? It's a little premature, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I gotta ask the question. Loki is, even like, let's put analytics aside, right? And we know analytically, or statistically, Loki episode 1 was actually the highest viewed thing on Disney Plus thus far. The first intro episode thus far. Obviously, the numbers since then have probably been consistent and are breaking records within their ranks. And we're at episode 5. We're about to watch episode 5 and the Loki live stream watch party. If you're not already going to watch that, make sure you tune in this Tuesday, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But is it too premature to ask the question will there be a Loki season 2 with the amount of success that we've seen in Loki season 1 thus far? And the reason why I feel like I can pose this question in chat, let us know in the comment section below. But will there be a Loki season 2? And I ask that because Loki now, to me, or at least in my eyes, from what the producers and filmmakers are doing, that there's no longer just one Loki. Just like or I guess what I'm trying to say is Loki season 2, depending on what happens to Tom Hiddleston's character, version of Loki. I mean, we just saw 5 new Loki this past episode 4. So do you guys have any, like, again, it's premature, but do you guys have any predictions for that? Will there be a Loki season 2? Anthony, I see you chuckling. I want to hear it.
No, so I can't remove the analytics from it because that's the world we live in. Yes, because it's financially a viable product that will bring more viewership to Disney Plus, and It's also a great way to continue to flesh out this character who we already love, but they could flesh him out even more. And in fact, by virtue of this being a new Loki, not the Loki that has love for his brother and is choked out by Thanos, this is an earlier version of Loki who hasn't yet arrived at that love for Thor. You could bring him into a Thor movie and Thor could be like, I thought you were dead. You know, and then they could have that whole relationship revamped and they could go back to the hate thing or the love-hate relationship that they had prior to, I would say Thor 2. And so, yes, absolutely. And again, then you can start to bring in these other characters. There are these characters that I really appreciate that I've been dying to see in some iteration of Thor or Loki. There are these 4 criminals, and I don't chat. Maybe you can help me out with this. I think they're called the Demolition Team or Demolition Squad, and they each have a weapon that is enchanted. One guy has like a crowbar. One guy has like these big gloves. One guy has a head, looks like Ram Man from He-Man and can hit you in the head. One guy has a ball and chain, and they're like enemies of Thor. I would love to see that. Perhaps you could see that in a Loki too. The Absorbing Man, right? The Absorbing Man who can touch objects and absorb it, and his whole body becomes it. Another enemy, more of Hulk, but also has had some dealings with Thor. Perhaps he could be in Hell, Loki's daughter, right? Mm-hmm. They haven't introduced HEL. That's right.
No, literally, like that's what.
No, that's how it's spelled. Yeah. She's the ruler of the underworld. They could bring her on the show. There's just Beta Ray Bill. I mean, there's just so much that you could do in a Loki season 2. So I think yes, absolutely.
Jonah, do you have any sort of like opinion on this? I know one interjection is that on top of the just resounding feeling of it, right, and all the points Anthony made, on top of that, when we were getting the press, when we were getting the press to promote the show, promote Loki, Michael Waldron, the writer, the head, and actually the showrunner of this show, he's acting as both, and Kate Herron and a few other people attached to the project actually kept teasing throughout their press tours, because they were asked, right? They were asked by press members, will there be a season 2? And they didn't resoundingly say no, as to where I remember in WandaVision, I remember during WandaVision, there was like, enjoy this, like enjoy what it is, because there's probably not going to be a WandaVision 2. So Jonah, really quick, do you have any say on this?
Yeah, I mean, there might be a Loki season 2. I'm just concerned, not concerned, but just trying to figure out what the whole premise of it will be. I think that yes, there will be, but what it will be about and when it will be is another question. My other theory is that we might get a Loki movie rather than another season. That way it's more self-contained. Because this is a very universal movie or universal event that is taking place. We're dethroning one of the like biggest powers in the multiverse right now, in Loki. So where would they take it from there? That's the thing. Yes, I want a season 2, but how are they going to step it up? That's the thing. If it's just going to be less of what it is right now or more of the same, it's going to take away from this season and make season 2 feel like a cop out and a cash grab.
Kind of,
rather than
are you going down the avenue, which is, I know this was reported, it's not anything official, but do you think it's something similar to when is it? Oh, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier was a self-contained season, and now we got reports literally as soon as it was a day after we got the Captain America 4 reports.
Yes.
I do like that thinking. I do like where you're going with that, because I think that's a possibility. I think Tom Hiddleston is a big screen magnet, meaning like it would be the first time he's really led any sort of project like that, like at that magnitude. But I think the Tom Hiddle stands, which I'm a part of, the Tom Hiddle stands. He would be able to bring a nice box office return for Disney and for Marvel.
Easily.
So to that point, Loki season 2, in my personal opinion, I think I wouldn't be mad if they turned it into a movie, but I think that it could be done. I think they're going to go the season 2 route. And you know what's funny, guys? Like, I didn't really get to, or if I were to pose this question after this coming Wednesday, this might not be a valid thing. So I thought, even though it's premature, it's a great time to talk about it, because depending on what happens in episode 5, we may never ever get to ask that question. So yeah, super excited. Love Loki. I know the chat says, let's see what the chat said. So Billy248 says yes to season 2. Reddick says yes, season 2 will happen. Check this out, Ulysses. I like this right here. I remember when I was watching episode 1, I think it said season 1 and episode 1.
It does that for every Disney Plus show. Because they want to leave the possibility open to a future season.
Gotcha. I will say that Ulysses, I can attest to one thing. I remember when I was watching Mandalorian, I remember I was watching a certain show and I did not see the season mark either, but then via mid-season, like their programmers or whatever, they decided, you know what, let's go ahead and add the season 1. So I know there have been instances where the season 1 or season whatever hasn't been attached. So totally understand you. Jonah, sorry I cut you off.
No, I'm just going through right now and pulling up all the TV shows. Falcon and Winter Soldier says season 1. WandaVision says season 1. Loki says season 1. So yeah, I mean, it's on all of them now. It was probably Mandalorian season 1 that you were watching, because that was the first. That was the original.
Oh yeah, that's when it launched. That's when Disney Plus launched.
Yeah.
And you know what else I'm thinking? I'm thinking that perhaps their model, it seems this way right now, maybe with the exception of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it seems that their shows are their TV shows are vehicles as jumping off points for their movies. So I'm not necessarily sure that they would do season 2s unless they're talking about cash grabs in the off season or when in between movies when there is nothing going on and they're trying to stay relevant. My only concern with all of that is that the oversaturation of Marvel. You guys have all heard of superhero fatigue, and so I'm just concerned about that. I'm a big fan. Less is more. It's kind of what happened with my favorite comedian, Kevin Hart. You were just too many movies that were popping up with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was like in everything, and I stopped digging him because of that. Right? Yeah. It's better. It's kind of like your girlfriend. You know, you can't be around all the time. Let me miss you. Let me miss you a little bit. You know,
Hey, future girlfriend, just if you're out there, I'm letting you know that Anthony told me that we can't always hang out. So that's the reason why I'm probably not here
you
right
can't.
now.
You gotta be with your Filmtopian family, bro. Sometimes you gotta kick it with us.
Exactly. But I will say that you guys bring up great points, and actually, this is it sparked what I wanted to say earlier, which is, and I think Billy, I haven't read this yet, but I read a little bit. It says Billy says, I think when Loki season 1 ends, people would want a Sylvie Disney Plus series because they want to figure out Sylvie's past more. And I don't think the Loki series can talk about Sylvie's past with only 2 episodes. And think about this. So love that, Billy. Thank you so much for that. Because you're gonna help reinforce a thing I want to point out, which is I think they can go. So now I'm gonna change position, which is now I think they can go. It's not gonna be called Loki season 2. It's gonna be called Sylvie. Like it's just gonna be called Sylvie. And think about it. The model that they have already, and I know it's gonna work, is Mandalorian season 2, Boba Fett. What are we getting? We're basically getting Mandalorian season 2.5 with the book of Boba Fett. And I think Sylvie would be in it. I don't think Will says this perfectly. So Sophia DiMartino is so good as Sylvie. I hope we get something, and that's really important to say because I think she's too great of like a talent to not give like a Disney Plus series to. So, Jonah, were you going to say something?
Yeah, the title of that would probably be The Enchantress rather than anything else. I don't think they would call it Sylvie.
Yeah.
I think they would call it maybe it's Loki and the Enchantress. That's what season 2 would be called.
Anthony, what you feeling, man?
Oh my God, I love when Jonah says stuff like that, bro. I get tingles, jingles, man. Just all the feels. Oh my God.
Because the name Sylvie, while we all know who she is, it's to the broad audience that doesn't know, that won't have seen Loki yet, to the audience that doesn't have Disney Plus, that has not seen any of these Disney Plus shows, they're gonna be like, "Who's Sylvie?" But when you throw Enchantress in there, you throw Loki and the Enchantress in there,
Bro,
everyone knows who the Enchantress is.
I'm already seeing the font of the title card with the green and gold. I'm already seeing it. It's like,
and that's why I think it'll be a movie rather than a TV show, is because they can plaster Loki and the Enchantress as a movie.
Oh, there you go. Oh my God, there it is. Yes, there it is. So the season 2 that I'm thinking is like that book of Boba Fett, but it will be called The Enchantress. And then the movie will be Loki and the Enchantress. Oh my God. Jonah, I love it. Anthony, I love it. And I know the chat loves it. Let me know in the chat if you guys love it. We come up with Marvel plans all the time. And we write them down, put them out into the universe, and hopefully Marvel takes note and they cut us in on 1%, like Robert Downey Jr. Let's see. Loki, Claybear Travel says Loki is about to confess his love for Sylvie. Also paralleled the metaphor for the dagger on the train. Love that metaphor. That thing was crazy. He disappeared like the dagger did. Oh my gosh. Claybear Travels with the gems. I would have Loki show up in Doctor Strange. I think it's gonna happen. I think Doctor Strange is gonna be Avengers Light. Avengers Light for sure.
I think Tom Hiddleston said he wasn't appearing in Doctor Strange. I don't remember what movie he said he wasn't appearing in. Oh no, Love and Thunder was the one he said he's not appearing in.
I got you.
The Thor and Loki book, he said, has been closed for now, and he wants to leave it that way for the time being, to be opened up at a later time. So we won't see Thor and Loki for a while.
See, less is more. Less is more. And you appreciate it more when they do get back together. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And honestly, like the Captain America reports, Chris Evans return and Robert Downey Jr. returns. I know we talked a little about this yesterday, but less is more approach on that for sure. Please don't give us them for a good long time. And if you do, keep it minimal. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Really quick though, I wanted to
More cameos from Captain
Um,
America, like the original Spider-Man, please.
yeah.
More instructional videos.
That's funny. No, but seriously, I really love today's Loki talk. It's really really cool when we can come up with stuff like that, when we like pull things from over here and then pull things from over here and then match them up and they just fit so perfectly. Shout out to Loki though, and the filmmakers over there, the producers, everybody that's involved with the show, because they really went into their bag for this one. And yeah, just like Anthony is signing love, man, love.
No, that was Loki.
Loki, got you.
Got you. I.
Loki, yeah. Hey, Loki, love, same thing. They disappeared, but
I mean, he loves himself finally.
Yeah. Really quick, guys. So I want to take a little, Chad, if you're in here, I want you guys to type in something very, very soon, and I'm going to tell you what it is. Right now, before we get into our final topic, I want to segue to this right here, which is this question that was trending last week. This question was trending on Twitter last week, and I gave my opinion on it. What you see on screen are my top 5 movies, or not top 5. They're my 5 movies that I'm confident I've seen at least 10 times. I quote retweeted James Gunn because that's the GOAT. But I am just going to start off really quick since it's already on screen. I know my castmates have their list, but chat, I want you to type right now, what are the 5 movies you're confident you've seen at least 10 times? So give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And actually, we're going to go ahead and start with Jonah. Jonah, what is your top 5?
You want me to give all 5, or do you want to each go through one by one?
Go through however you want to do it. However you feel is appropriate for your
all right.
for your list.
All right. Well, these are in no particular order of anything. I just know I've seen them a lot. I'm gonna start with Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi movie. Grew up on that and loved it. How to Train Your Dragon, all 3 movies. Love all 3 of them. Seen each of them at least 20 times. Captain America: Civil War, my all-time favorite MCU movie. It has overtaken Infinity War and Endgame again. Yeah, it's hard to say that they fell down, but my rating for that movie is the highest rating out of all the MCU movies. So that's up there. Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith, the supercut that people uploaded, including season 7, Siege of Mandalore. Wow. I'm counting that as a movie. I know it's not official, but that's that. And then Endgame is my other one for my top 5 that I know I've seen at least 10 times. I saw Endgame too many times in theaters, but definitely worth it. And it was a great study break from finals. So those are my 5.
Awesome. Well, that's a great 5, and I like how you went into detail. Anthony, are you ready for yours?
Yes.
Okay, so check this out. Chat, again, if you're watching, let us know the 5 movies you're confident that you've seen at least 10 times. We're gonna check out Anthony's. What do you got?
Okay, I'm gonna switch. Let me go back to my well, I think people kind of saw it a little bit.
Here, I got you.
For me, number 1 was 5 Deadly Venoms. I don't know how many people know what this movie is. It's one of the greatest Shaw Brothers martial art movies of all time. It's absolutely incredible. I recommend you check it out. If you like martial arts movies and you like seeing different like styles, like the toad style, snake, centipede, scorpion style. Oh, it's incredible. The Raid 1 and 2. I guess you could tell that I'm a martial arts head if you didn't know already. The Raid 1 and 2, I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. Of course, Avengers Endgame, Dark Knight, come on, who are we kidding? And one of my favorites is Aliens, the second one. The Ridley Scott, the James Cameron one where he puts the action into it is absolutely fantastic. If you get a chance to watch it, watch the extended cut for some extra scenes in there that make the movie even better. But yeah, those are my tops right there. That's my top.
Nice. And just so everybody knows really quick, let me go ahead and embarrass myself really quick. So I don't know if you guys know, but I apparently the whole stream I have been using the microphone from these and not the microphone from here. At least on my end, that's what I just found out. I am super sorry about that, chat and everybody out there. But I think that is a testament. I think one positive out of this, we always find a positive in something, and that is the talk, the chat, and everything was still lit. Because at the end of the day, it's not about your microphone. It's not about your camera. It's not about any of that. It's about, it's about what we got to say, and it's about our love for movies. So whether it's the AirPods microphone or this microphone, yeah. So did you guys ever, is there a difference?
Kinda.
Yeah,
a little bit.
It's a little clearer, but I didn't even notice that it was the AirPod microphone, to be honest.
Well, you know what's awesome though? Like I said, it's all good. I'm not even mad. I just think it's funny. And the reason why I think it's funny is because I hear noise around me, and so I was like, and it's funny. You guys were talking, and I would mute my microphone over here, so like you can't hear anything while you guys are talking. And I was muting something I wasn't even using. It's all right, chat. It's all good.
We're a work in progress.
We are a work in progress, and that's what I love. I actually love that this happened because you will see the evolution and the growth, and just this will go into the blooper reel on episode 100. But really quick, let me show mine if people didn't get to see it, and that is right here. So the top. The movies that I'm confident I've seen 10 times. And a little preface, guys. So I actually had to go into my bag for this one. I've seen a lot of movies more than 10 times. So I actually went even further, and I'm like, well, I can't pick between all the movies I've seen 10 times. So now let's keep going. Okay, what have I seen more than 20, more than 30? And I think I stopped at 30, and I know I've seen these more than 30 times. And I've got The Departed, a Martin Scorsese film, my favorite one. Oh man, I don't know if that's a bold statement. Screw it. That's my favorite Scorsese film. Jurassic Park is so near and dear to my heart. Toy Story, literally, I just remember that's like a staple in my brain. And I've got The Dark Knight. I think on this list, The Dark Knight might be the most watched. And then number 5, I'm not going to lie. I've seen the Santa Claus so much. That is my favorite. That and Home Alone are my favorite. I should have put Santa Claus / Home Alone because I watch them literally back to back. And these are the 5 movies I'm confident I've seen 10 times.
Hey, Rick, check it out.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when I made my list, because we basically came up with these lists in pre-production, right? Full disclosure. So I just went into my bag and I pulled out the ones that immediately came to mind. But as we've been having this discussion, I mean, if we was going like deep in the crates, digging in the crates, I mean, now I'm about to age myself, right? I mean, Enter the Dragon. I know I've seen at least 100 times, at least, right? Groundhog Day. With Bill Murray, for some reason, I've seen that movie so many times. Probably because it's on TNT all the time.
Yeah.
Dude, It's a Wonderful Life. I've been watching that movie. I mean, my Christmas bag is just like, right? It's a Wonderful Life. I've seen that every year of my life. So I know I've seen that more than 30 times. And the 10 Commandments.
I got you. It's funny though, right? Because like our process of trying to pick these movies, because the question says that you're confident you've seen 10 times,
All right.
but my process of elimination had to come down to, well, man, now I have to change that 10 to like 50 or 30 or whatever the number is, because I've seen a bunch of movies more than 10 times and I'm confident I have. So that's funny, man. That's funny. I want to go to the chat really quick. I know Ulysses says he's seen Paid in Full. Oh my God. See, I could add Paid in Full. Paid in Full, Lords of Dogtown, Guardians of the Galaxy. Crash says Star Wars 4, 5, and 6, and all of the Avengers and Captain America films. Claybear Travel says Super Mario Bros, Clue, and
Avengers.
Okay. And then Ulysses also adds Spider-Verse as it comes to him. Avengers and Spider-Man. Yep, Claybear Travels. Now, Billy248 says Avengers Endgame, Toy Story. We share that. Captain America Civil War, Dark Knight, and we also share that. And then there you go. Ulysses also with the Dark Knight. William says every MCU movie at least 10 times for sure. Number 2, Grown Ups. Oh, talking about always being on TNT and on every network. Shout out. This is actually an Adam Sandler stan account as well. Filmtopia is. Adam Sandler is the go. I don't care what anybody says at me. But I will say Grown Ups seriously is on all the time. 51st. Oh my God. I think 51st Dates might be my number 1. Oh my gosh. List can go on and on. I love this though. But yeah, he says The Dark Knight, Karate Kid, and finishes it with Monster House.
Wait, which Karate Kid? the Karate Kid with Jaden Smith or with Ralph Macchio?
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, and William's probably seen Christmas Vacation probably 30 times. And so yeah, so that is actually our little segue, our little nice little break, and really get to hear out the chat. I love this question. I hope another one.
Can I throw a silly question, because it's a movie that I'm being told that I need to watch, but I can't remember the name of it right now. But it's with the movie with the character whose name is McLovin.
Oh my God, I've seen that.
What's the movie?
Bro, super bad.
That's on my list. I'm going to watch that. I promise you, I'm going to watch that this weekend.
It is. If you've seen Pineapple Express, if you've seen This at the End, if you've seen any of those movies and you love those,
yes,
to me, Superbad is the most. In a way, it's like the first one, actually. Right? Because it's like Seth Rogen produced, made, written, and all that stuff. But it's the first one, and I think it's, oh man, I don't know if it's the best one, but it's like I've seen it. I can put that on whether I'm doing something or whether I'm not. Like it's just so good, so quotable. Like I'm just always quoting it. The characters are so memorable. In the chat, please let me know if you are a Superbad fan. Let me know if Superbad. Which one of your Seth Rogen ones are your favorites? Superbad, Pineapple Express, This Is the End, and a whole bunch of others. But to me, Superbad is like my near and dear heart type of one.
I gotta check. I gotta watch it this weekend. I keep hearing about it. I heard it's hilarious, and I love that name, McLovin. I'm like, oh my Lord.
Dude, you'll find out. Oh my God, when you find out like why he's McLovin, it's so funny, bro.
Okay, all right. I'll report back to you.
That's funny. Anthony, this one's for you. I think my number 5 is the way of the Dragon. Is right.
That's a Bruce Lee movie. That's where he fights Chuck Norris in the end. Oh, it's incredible movie.
Yeah, the chat is hyped about Superbad. McLovin. William says that me and my homies been calling our friend McLovin for years just because of that movie. And then Billy248 says, and Fist of Fury. Awesome. So good. But thank you, everybody. So we're gonna.
I can add one more real quick.
Which one?
Space Jam, the original.
Jam, the original. And you know what? Awesome, Jonah. Thank you for that. I love what you're doing there, because that brings us to somewhere.
I'm about to get in my bag now. Let's go.
All right, everybody. This is the final topic of the day. We're going to wrap up after this, but I think I wanted to bring this up today because I've seen a lot of promo now for Space Jam 2. It is on TNT, which is owned by Warner Media. I've seen it on ESPN. It is everywhere on all the NBA games, on MLB, everything you can see sports-wise. They're really maximizing their marketing efforts. And I respect that. I really, really do. I really do. But, Jonah, Space Jam 1 is a certified classic. No matter what anybody says, it is a certified classic. It is something you put in the spaceship that's supposed like that spaceship that goes out in space and has like the 100 songs, the 100 movies, all that thing. So in case an alien form finds it, Space Jam 1 is going on there. So with everything I've seen, it was until yesterday, though, when I caught a peep of where'd it go? Oh, right here. When I caught a peep of this, and Space Jam: A New Legacy put out like a trailer or like a little teaser of the input because as you know, Space Jam: A New Legacy has a multiverse feel to it. It's called the Warner, no, not the Warnerverse, but the I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but like the serververse. The serververse, and essentially the serververse is because Warner Brothers has access and owns all these movies such as The Matrix, such as Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, such as just a whole bunch of top classic movies. And yesterday they put out a trailer of, as you see right here, Speedy Gonzalez in The Matrix.
Ándale.
Yeah, and then also I also saw the Notorious P.I.G. and that I think that's the one that got me where I was like, no. That I don't know if no. You stop there. You do not mess with the NOTORIOUS. You just lay down slow. You don't do that.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
You don't do that.
We're not doing
that. Anyways, Jonah, since you brought it up first, I want you to go ahead and see if you can answer this question. Is Space Jam 2 trying too hard?
Yes.
Okay, next answer.
Next question. No. Yes, they've been trying way too hard. And it's because LeBron's no longer in the playoffs.
Oh wow,
if
that's
LeBron
true.
was still in the playoffs, they wouldn't need to push us as much. Or maybe they'd be pushing it even more.
Mm-hmm.
Because LeBron is in the playoffs. But the way that they have, I've seen all the trailers. Even the Looney Tunes don't look happy to be playing with LeBron. Let's be honest. It's going to be the most unrealistic performance of LeBron's life. Because he's not going to flop at all. Let's just call it how it's going to be. Ouch. I'm not a LeBron fan.
Yeah, that's obvious.
That is Jonah's opinion and Jonah's opinion only. I'll get into mine later.
The views of Jonah Mandel are not necessarily the views of Filmtopia.
Yes, that is very true. I very much have my own views. Am I looking forward to this movie? Yes. Am I excited to see how goofy it's going to be? Yeah. Do I think that they're going to take everything way too out of hand? Yes. Is it going to ruin the movie? Possibly. I do have trust in Coogler, who directed it. I do think that he is going to be able to turn around a movie that could have failed with a different director at the helm. I really think that Coogler is going to be the one reason why this movie doesn't fail.
Can I go?
Yes, let me get you positioned, and then here you go.
Yo, listen, hey, Anthony from Loki Watch Stream is back. I'm about to get into my bag. I got some things to say. All right,
floor is yours, my man.
I'm excited.
First of all, I'm with you, Jonah. No, the movie, they're trying too hard. All right. That's first of all. And as someone who appreciates LeBron James a little bit more now than I used to, because I used to hate LeBron after what he was doing to Derrick Rose and my Chicago Bulls back then. I used to hate him heavy, but you know, I have an appreciation for him now. But I gotta say this, and I'm looking right at you, LBJ, if you're listening. You can never, ever call yourself the GOAT, right? King James, if you following in 23's shoes and trying to do a sequel of his movie. You should have made your own movie, something totally different. But you're doing Space Jam sequel. So that in and of itself, you already relinquished that title as the GOAT. You're not the GOAT, right? 4 rings. Mike got 6. That's first. I want to say that.
Really quick.
Please.
These opinions are Anthony's.
The views of Anthony McIntosh are not necessarily the views of Filmtopia. Way too much animation. I think in the first Space Jam movie, there was just the right amount, right? And I think the main 2 characters that were vibing with Mike were really Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny. And the other characters kind of were just only like in the basketball scenes. This one looks like it's heavy animation, maybe too much. And I know that LeBron James has had a couple of good movies that he cameoed in, and he has some little funny lines or whatever. I just don't find him that funny, right? If you want to see a real funny video of LeBron James, chat, Google LeBron James salsa dancing. That is funny. But nah, man, they're trying too hard. I don't see it. And again, he got knocked out of the playoffs, right? When Mike made his movie, he came back and won another 3 championships back to back to back. And so I'm just not feeling it. I know I'm probably not the target audience for it. I know I will watch it because it's going to be on Disney Plus, and and it's part of my job to watch this stuff and report back to you guys, but it's a no for me. Back to you.
Listen, so what I want to say is those opinions are theirs and theirs only. But now I have mine. Let me get into my bag. So let me pull myself up on the big screen and go for a little. So it's the NOTORIOUSU just laid out slow. I want to say Space Jam 2 for me, I like the points Jonah and Anthony made. And one of the points that Jonah made is Ryan Coogler at the helm. Really, really appreciate that. Love that. And Ryan Coogler, I trust. I don't necessarily think this is going to be a flop by any means. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a bad movie. I'm really excited to watch it. As you can see, it's actually one of the few like trailer reactions I've done on the channel. And I don't, up to this point, I haven't done much, but one of them I had to do it for that one. And secondly, I think it's trying too hard in the sense of if this is where the train ends and really Space Jam is done, like this is where it's done, then I can see the walls out approach. By using the serververse, using different IP from different movies, such as The Matrix, such as Joker, such as Game of Thrones. Okay, I get it. You're throwing everything at the wall because this might be the last one. Thirdly, I want to say my relationship with LeBron James is a love and hate relationship. And I'll tell you the origination of it, full transparency, it is because I am a diehard Kobe fan. And in LA or like in Southern California, if you're a Laker fan, like you're trained, the world trained us that Kobe was the best, especially during his era, but there was someone that was coming for his throne, or just, he needed that person that he needed to duel with. And that was LeBron James. LeBron James was self-proclaimed the chosen one. LeBron James was hyped and he lived up to the hype, just saying, but he was a very hyped individual. And so obviously before he could ever get to Michael Jordan, the comparison had to start with Kobe Bryant. So anyways, I remember one year they really started churning the marketing for Kobe and LeBron in the finals. And Kobe did his part, got to the finals, and beat the Orlando Magic. And LeBron James's Cavaliers, top-seeded #1 record in the NBA, did not. So I say that to say, just to preface where I stand in all of this, I am really excited about Space Jam 2. I don't think it's going to be as bad as what people might think. But that doesn't mean I can't think it's trying too hard, and I think it's trying a little too hard. But to wrap up, what I also wanted to say is, actually, I can't remember. It had something to do with Anthony. The GOAT talk and all that stuff. To me, yes, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And then, but I will.
We're all in agreement.
Yes, we're all in agreement. That is for sure. But I do want to say, as a Space Jam 2, this is my retort to Anthony. My retort to Anthony is, you said LeBron should have done something outside of Space Jam, this and that. I actually like that he's taking on Space Jam 2, and I'm glad it ended up not being Steph Curry. I love Steph Curry, by the way. I love Steph Curry, but I'm glad it ended up not being Steph Curry. I'm glad it ended up not being Blake Griffin, like it was supposed to be a few years back. I like the fact that LeBron James is the person we're getting in the role for this, because whether you guys like it or not, or whether you guys believe it or not, I think just objectively, LeBron James is the second, I'm not going to say best player of all time. I'm going to say the second, most popular type of player of all time. Does that make sense? So, or how about this? Not just to keep it simple. Michael Jordan is the best player of all time, and then LeBron James is the second best player of all time. Time out. On my list, I have Kobe after Michael. After Michael. But I'm saying, as a general consensus type of thing, because the barbershop talk is usually LeBron or Michael, and statistics show that if there is a duel, it's between them. But the duel is a 70-20 duel. But if there is a duel, it is between them. So I wanted to point that out. I am glad that LeBron James is that second one, because I think it's the right choice. It's what I think was appropriate for that. So I see my panel members really, really wanting to get in on this. Keep it short and simple, but I do want to hear what you got to say.
Yo, fam, I'm just going to say, I'm going to be real quick. LeBron is not jumping over Kobe. Sorry. That's it.
Not on my personal list.
Right. Not even, no, you're saying the consensus. Who's consensus?
No, but it is a consensus. It's a consensus as far as let's just say ESPN, Fox, all these networks. I'm going off of a general consensus, which is they market their marketing towards because here's the thing, it's obviously for the ratings and stuff, and it would benefit them if LeBron ever got 2 6 rings, because they have a buttload to talk about then, right? Because then you can really be like, oh, well, really, who's the GOAT? I know who the GOAT is, but I'm just saying, in terms of a general consensus, that seems to be it. And while it's not maybe the honest one, I do think it's the marketed one. It's the one that's out there. It's the narrative that's
the media's narrative.
Not all of them. I've heard, and
not all of them.
I love this show. I love that we kind of veered a little bit, still keeping it connected to movies. However, real talk, I've heard Stephen A. Smith say that LeBron is not Kobe. I've heard Skip say that LeBron is not Kobe. I mean, I've heard.
But Stephen A. And again,
he's a Kobe rider. He's a Kobe rider.
No.
I know that.
He's a Kobe rider. No. But I'm saying on Stephen A.'s list, it's Michael and then LeBron. That's I'm
gonna check for that. I got to check for it. But
yeah.
Hey man, maybe again, I'm in the Midwest. I think also it has to do with regions too. Yeah. I think obviously in the Midwest, we all we love Mike, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's people on the West Coast that love. That love, and then it's the rest of the country's kind of split up between LeBron over. But my whole thing is that I always talk about championships, right? The chip, right? And LeBron got 4. Kobe got 5. Yeah. How he just jump over Tim Duncan got 5. How he just jump over them?
That's the Jalen Rose argument, man. That's the Jalen Rose. I'm in line with you guys. So the beauty is I'm not arguing with you. The only thing is I'm arguing with you guys is the fact that we live in we live in an ecosystem where the narrative and all that stuff is that there is LeBron and there is Michael, and those are like supposedly the top 2. But I'm not saying that I agree with that. I'm just saying that that's what the ecosystem kind of wants us to believe.
Well, here's one thing we can agree on. Space Jam 2 will not be better than Space Jam 1. I think we can all agree on that.
Let me ask you this:
graphics,
really quick.
Graphics, yes. Graphics,
of course. But technology,
really quick, guys. This is a great way to end this, and I want to know because as well. Okay, with your guys' opinions out in the open and mine out in the open, which I love, but if Space Jam 2 is objectively better, and you remove like your attachment to Space Jam 1, if it is objectively better, are you willing to say it is better?
Oh, of course. Yeah. As I said earlier in the stream, I like to be proven wrong. But again, hey man, when we start talking, it's our sports bag. Maybe one day we'll have a show that's specifically for maybe sports and sports related movies and stuff. Yeah. I would love to get into that bag, but I'm just saying this before Jonah jumps in, man. LeBron's not even the best Laker, right? Magic Johnson. I mean, come on, man. Anyway, I love this conversation. I love having this conversation with you guys. Sorry. Go ahead, Jonah. Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
I mean, I feel the same way. I've never been a Laker fan, even though I grew up in Southern California. I love Kobe. I love a lot of the Lakers players. Not a fan of the team. The fact that the owner of the Lakers didn't even consider the logo to be a top 5 Laker player of all time, and they said Phil Jackson over them. Disrespect entirely. The fact that she put LeBron there immediately after signing there, he barely brought them a chip last year in an environment where it didn't do anything. You had no fans, you had no nothing. It was just open gym.
A bubble. Right.
Open gym.
Shout out to open gyms. I want to go back to open gym.
I'm looking forward to going back. But if it's better, it's better. And I'm gonna be okay with that. But it's not gonna be better because of a LeBron Michael Jordan thing. It'll be better because of from a story standpoint. Yeah. It flows better and it works better than what the original Space Jam does. My question for you guys is, let's say January 26th never happened. Kobe's still alive. Would you rather have Kobe or LeBron do this Space Jam?
Me? And you know, here's the thing. So I'm going to say one thing is I'm going to maintain that I'm okay with the LeBron thing because the LeBron is still playing. LeBron is still again. I live in an ecosystem at least, and I'm pretty sure it's worldwide where the discussion is between those two. While the more maybe invested, such as us, believe that like Kobe is number 2 or Kareem is number 2, or you put people above, right? But again, going back to just where I stand is I think that the general consensus is that LeBron is number 2. So hence, I think the movie is fine with him being in it.
For me, I've one of the things that's always irked me about Kobe was I found him to be inauthentic in his mid-career. I found that he patterned himself a lot after Mike, right? He changed his number from 6 or is it 8?
8 to 24.
He changed from 8 to 24. How close that is
to Billy 24-8
and to 23. And then he said, "Why?" They said, "Why 24?" He goes, "Because I'm one better than Mike." I mean, come on, bro. Aside from that, You know, the fro, which I loved, that was my Kobe right there. Cut it low, tried to, you know, again, model himself after Mike. He stopped wearing the fly gear and kind of moved into suits. I attribute some of that to his becoming an adult, getting married. But even his mannerisms, the way he talked, he started emulating Mike and his interview style and everything. So I didn't like that. So I don't think that doing a movie that's a sequel to Mike, I don't think that's a good look. I think that at some point, obviously, we all know about their relationship now. We've heard a lot about how they had this relationship that we didn't know about. They were really tight.
Really close.
Yeah. And so I think that that was his idol. So he was like, you know, his homage to him. He kind of, you know, started to mimic him a little bit because we all know that that's a form of flattery.
And that's why I'm asking.
Right.
The Space Jam, because it would be another form of flattery towards
Mike.
Sure,
but you can't do it too much. So I would say no. I think LeBron is, out of all the other NBA players, he is the one player who could do it if there was no one else. Like Steph Curry couldn't do that. Can't do that movie, right?
No. He could do. Steph Curry could do it from he
could play in it. He could be a villain in the movie. You know.
He could definitely boost like the movie, but I think that the star of the movie was either Michael or LeBron.
Right. It has to be LeBron. If there's anyone who's going to do it, it would have to be LeBron. I just don't think it's a good look for his GOAT argument. If he's calling himself the GOAT, Michael would never give that kind of homage to Dr. J or Magic Johnson or Larry Bird. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't walk in another man's shoes if I'm calling myself the GOAT. That's all. But I love this conversation, man. Thank you so much. I love it.
Yeah, no, I love it too. And I actually respect both sides. I respect what Michael did, which was he never called himself the GOAT because of Bill Russell, because of Dr. J, because of Larry Bird, Jerry West, and the people that came before him. I really respected that. I also, on the other hand, respect, someone wanting to be the GOAT and saying that they are the GOAT, even though I don't believe it. But like, if you believe it and you got to speak it into the universe, just like I've preached here before. So I like both sides.
We're the GOATs. We're the baby goats of the new YouTube era. You looking at it right now.
True. That is so true.
We got goats right here.
I think I did a sheep, but I went back. Whatever a goat sound makes. I just want to say today's show was definitely one for the books. Episode 2 was very, very litty. And shout out to the chat for staying engaged. Shout out to William for just freaking really going hard in the chat. Billy 24-8. William says MJ is undisputed. Claver says Jordan versus LeBron. Well, I think we answered that. I didn't even see it until right now, but I think we just naturally answered that. Crash, thank you so much. Ulysses was in here earlier. Moz. Claver says I'm for Jordan because no one will ever fly like Jordan. Man, that scene, I'm thinking about it right now. That was so cool. And then that was like
foul.
The flagrant foul.
What's it called?
Then thinking about the shoe, the Space Jam, like my holy grail of shoes, like seeing that as a kid. Wow. Yeah, and William thought that was a damn good question, William. Roosevelt points out that LeBron owns the company that's producing this movie, Spring Hill Entertainment. But shout out to Rich Paul and Maverick Carter for all the business stuff they've done under the umbrella or with the platform that LeBron helped them get towards. Super shout out to the team, to be honest. Like outside of just playing and stuff, shout out to that whole ecosystem over there. Crash thought that was a great point. And there we go. Billy 24A, I think, is the perfect person to end this conversation, this debate. Jordan versus LeBron equals Kobe. Done. Finished. In the bag. Let's go. But yes, everybody. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in today. Filmtopia Live is a Monday through Friday daily morning talk show about all things movies. The beauty about the show, though, is that it lends itself to other things that are relevant to what's going on. So you just heard us literally debate a Jordan versus LeBron topic because of Space Jam 2. So this is the type of vibes you can get if you, like I recommended yesterday, you know, if you need your sports fix, I actually recommended watching First Take or Undisputed early before this show and then come to this show because it ends at the perfect time. But I'm thinking, man, you might just be able to come here and hear what we got to say. So
maybe we should open with sports recap.
That's true. I do want to say, really quick, I did want to just like tell you guys that this is a project that we are working on. As you saw today, we are a work in progress. I had a different microphone for half the show, but you know, the beauty is that we're gonna improve and we're gonna add things that we don't see right now. And stick with us. This is only episode 2 of Filmtopia Live, and I think it's still a success. Yesterday was historic. And I just wanted to ask the chat one last time. You know how I opened the show, which is, hi, my name is Ricky. This is Filmtopia, and blank, blank. That blank, blank is supposed to be a movie quote that you give us input on, that you ask me to say. So I would be like, hi, my name is Ricky. This is Filmtopia. And why so serious? But it's going to be dependent on you and you guys commenting not only in the live chat, but on the comment section below after this is done live streaming. And so yeah, so that's that. And then, you know what? If you guys get really good at it, I might take on 2 and put them at the beginning and at the end. So, you know, run up the numbers, comment as much as you can, and depending on how really, you know, how much of a traction that gets, I'll do my best to get it both at the beginning and at the end. And I know William, by the way, commented earlier saying that he really enjoyed that midpoint question, which had to do with the top or the 5 movies that we have undoubtedly seen more than 10 times. That might be something that we start keeping, you know, towards the middle of the show. And so, but with that said, on behalf of Jonah, Anthony, and myself, we're going to go ahead and sign off. This has been Filmtopia Live, episode number 2, where we talked about Spider-Man No Way Home. We talked about Loki, and then we finished off with a Space Jam, aka Michael Jordan versus LeBron James debate. And I think it was awesome. And to my fellow panel co-host, I just want to exit with our usual exit. So on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Vibes,
baby. All right, later, everybody. Filmtopian,
Peace out.
assemble.
Jordan 23.